Right, hi guys, this is day one of your 5 non-calculator questions. So let's get started. Okay, so these are the 5 questions I'm going to go over. If you've not done them yet, pause the video now. I'm just going to start going over these now, okay? Okay, this one, so evaluate 5 3/5, take away 2 2/3. You're going to turn it into a top-heavy fraction to begin with. So let's do that. And I'm just going to write it out again, 5 3/5, take away 2 2/3. So multiply your denominator by your big number and then add on your numerator on top. So 5 multiplied by 5 is 25, add 3, so 6 28, so we're going to 28 over 5. And we do the same here, 3 multiplied by 2 is 6, and then add 2 on is 8. 8 over 3. Okay, when you're adding and subtracting fractions, your denominator has to be the same. So you want to change the denominator. So think about what 5 divides into nicely and what 3 divides into nicely. And the number would be 15. So what do you have to do to the 5 to get to 15? You have to multiply by 3. So you have to do the same to the top. 28 multiplied by 3 is 84. And then you have to do something like 3 multiplied by 5 gives you 15. So you have to multiply that by the top as well. That gives you 40. And it's out of 15, so that denominator doesn't stay the same once you have the same number on the bottom, and the top number would be 44. And then you can change into a mixed number if you like. So 15 goes into 44 2 whole times with 14 left over. So 14 goes over the 15, the original denominator. Okay, that's that one done. Next one. Okay, find the equation of the straight line passing through the points A, -2, 7, and B, 14, -1. Okay, for the equation of any straight line, you need a gradient and you need a point. You've got a point, you've been given 2 points, you have to work out the gradient. So you're going to use the formula n equals y2 take away y1 over x2 take away x1. And you're going to substitute your points in. So A is -2, 7, and B is 14, -1. This is an x value and a y value, and an x value and a y value. Okay, it doesn't really matter which ones you call ones and which one you call twos, but I usually look at I'm just looking here, looking at the y value, and I usually name the one that's got the biggest number twos. You don't have to do that. I'll always work the other way as well. So I'm going to go ahead and name this one. Oops. Sorry guys, I'm still on highlight. I'm going to go ahead and name this one 2 and this one 1. And then you're just substituting in here. So y2, which is here, which is 7. So 7 take away y1, which is -1, put that in brackets, all over x2, which is here, which is -2, take away x1, which is 14. And then 7 take away -1 is 8, and -2 take another 14 away is -16. Simplify that, and you get -1/2. Okay, so you're going to use your gradient of -1/2 and one of these points. Doesn't matter which one you use. I'm going to choose to use -2 and 7. And you're going to sub it into your y minus b equals n bracket x minus a. Remember, with your coordinate, your point, this is your a and this is your b. And that's your m. So you're just substituting that a, b, and m into that formula there. So it's going to be y take away 7 equals -1/2 bracket x take away -2. You can multiply through by the 2 here to get rid of the fraction, or you can keep it there. depends how you've been taught. I'm going to keep it there for this one. So y take away 7 equals, let me fix this first before I multiply. I'm just going to make that an add 2. So I take away 7, and then I'm multiplying the negative half by the x and the negative half by the 2. It becomes negative a half x, take away, and then negative a half multiplied by 2 is negative 1. Okay, and then all you want to do now is get y all by itself. So you want to get rid of this take away 7 by adding 7 to both sides. So it becomes y equals negative a half x and add 6 with a positive 7 take away 1. And that's the equation of the line. That's us. Let's clear that one, go on to the next one. Okay, simplify. So you should know about your indices and about the rules. So when you're multiplying, what happens to the powers? These powers are going to add together. Okay, so it becomes s, and then negative 3 add on 7 is 4. The answer is s to the power of 4. Okay, change the subject of the formula to d. So you're starting off with r equals the square root of 3y add d all over 4. The subject, changing the subject means you want to get d all by itself. The subject at the moment is r because it's all by itself. So you want to rearrange everything and get d all by itself. So here's d here. So you have to think about what's happening to d. So d is here. 3y is being added to it. It's then been square rooted, and then 4 is being divided by it. So think about what I said last. And the last thing I said was divide by 4. So that's the first thing you want to undo. And to undo divide by 4, you want to multiply by 4. So I'm going to multiply by 4. Oops. I'm just going to do a working line to tell you what I'm doing. So I'm multiplying both sides by 4. So this becomes 4r equals the square root of 3y plus d. Next thing you want to do is you want to get rid of that square root sign. So in order to get rid of square root, the inverse of square root is squaring something. So I'm going to square both sides. So all of this on this side gets squared. And then the right hand side just becomes 3y and d. Remember what your goal is to get d all by itself. So you want to get rid of that add 3y. So to undo that, we're going to take 3y away from both sides. So you've got 4r all squared, take away 3y equals d. If we tidy that up slightly, if I look at here, you have to raise the 4 to the power of 2, 4 squared, and you have to raise the r to the power of 2. So this would become 16r squared, take away 3y equals d. And then if you want to write it round the other way, you can. So d equals 16r squared, take away 3y. Okay, that's us. Next one. Okay, fully factorize. So when you're factorizing, you're thinking about common factor, you're thinking about the difference of two squares, and you're thinking about factorizing trinomials. This doesn't look like a trinomial. It doesn't have the 3 terms. The first thing we always try is the common factor. So what can you pull out of 12w squared and pull out of 27? What's the biggest number that goes into 27 and goes into 12? And I believe the number is 3. So that is what you're going to pull out. So then it becomes 3 multiplied by what gives you 12w, so it's 12w squared is 4w squared, and 3 multiplied by what gives you 27, and it's 9. Now this quite often happens in Nat 5. This bracket now has become a difference of 2 squares type question. Okay, difference of 2 squares. So that's a squared number and a squared term. the whole thing squared, and this is a square number. Difference, remember, is take away, and it is a takeaway. You can see that there. So if I just write that out again, 4w take away 9, and you know what to do here. So it factorizes into 2 brackets. I give it with the square root of each of the terms are, and it's going to be 2w add 3 and 2w take 3 away. Okay. Right, guys, thanks for watching. I hope that helps, and I hope you got them all right. Okay, thank you. Bye now.